Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? A little bit of a mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sounds like everything's good. Nice. How y'all doing? Hopefully, you've had a great week and everything has gone by without a hitch for the most part. Get some vibes going. Very minor vibes. Okay. So, what is going on today? Um We are going to be doing a new mini project, working on creating a chatbot application. We're going to start small and just implement a couple things just to beat the MVP of it. There's loftier goals in the future, but for now, we're just going to go with the very minimal MVP implementation that will meet the achievements, meets the goal for at least this channel. And so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be scaffolding up a Elixir Phoenix application because we're going to want to host this on the web and actually have a user interface in the future. So we're going to scaffolding that. We already have some things to achieve with that. So we have a to-do list, a bunch of to-dos to do, and we are just gonna roll from there. Bunch of to-dos to do. And the to-do is pretty small, admittedly, but I'll just like what the box up above says, we're doing a Pomodoro chatbot. We're going to be creating the app. We're going to be adding TMI basically, which is a library in Elixir to integrate with Twitch chat, and then implementing the features on the project board. That is what's going on. Get a little caffeine in me, a little tasty caffeine. So yeah, let's just about get into it. We just got to remember to turn on our closed captioning. Boop. And we're good to go. Alrighty then. All right, so to knock out the very first thing we need to do, we need to scaffold up a new project. So I believe we will need to do mix phx dot new, and I guess we'll just do default. So Pomodoro, the Pomodoro app. And yes, actually, we'll hold off installing all the dependencies just yet, because we're gonna go into the app directly. So let's go into the Pomodoro app and clear that. So we are in the Pomodoro app, and let's go ahead and open this up in VS Code. And we're going to do my favorite thing in the whole wide world when we're dealing with any sort of project is I am going to be adding in the configurations for a dev container. So I want to add a development container configuration file that says right at the top right there. That's what I'm doing. And then we're going to show all definitions. We're going to look up the Elixir one, and we're going to specifically pick Elixir Phoenix, Node.js, Postgres. All right. So we officially have our stuff up, or we have our assets installed in. We have some one basic package, which is the Elixir LS. Let's check. And then what I like to do is double check that our dependent Elixir versions. So I want this to run on Elixir 13. And what version of Phoenix is there out right now? Phoenix framework. And let's see. So just figure this out by going straight to the source usually and checking version tags. So 166 appears to be the latest version that exists. Alrighty. We want Phoenix version 166, Elixir 1, we're doing Elixir 13. So in our Docker Compose file, we're going to say that we want Elixir 13 and Phoenix 166. We're not going to be using Node because now Phoenix doesn't use Webpacker anymore. So we configure those things. Now we just want to launch this in a dev. We want to officially launch this in a container. i7, greetings to you. How you doing, i7? Hopefully you've had a good week and an excellent Friday so far. All right, so all we're doing now is waiting for this to install our dependencies and perform our build. Heyo, Shy Ryan, welcome to the channel. And I hope you have a great week so far. I'm tired. Hey, I've got this night 3 hours and maybe 4 hours of sleep. Basically, I'll to bed, but wanted to hang out here a bit. What about you? I'm doing pretty good. So this week has been I feel like it's been a fairly satisfying week. One of the biggest wins of my week is actually on the scale. This morning, so ever since the beginning of the new year, I've adjusted my diet and been subscribing to a service that gives me portioned meals that are, healthy, well-balanced meals, not too large. And I've been making a point to going and walking more. So, thus far, since the start of the new year, I have dropped from 205 pounds to 190. That's the lowest I've hit so far on the scale. So I haven't been weighing myself like diligently and keeping track of my weight. I just been trying to, make sure to eat in my meals, avoid snacking, avoid buying or eating anything extra, and keeping things small, even when going out and eating, trying to resist eating too much. And so far it's resulted a good win on that side of things. So that's been awesome. And then, another win rolling into this week is just, writing had written another article over the weekend. So that's another nice little win. And I am hoping to get either a video or an article out. Get a video article out done this weekend, hopefully. That's the goal. And that video is going to talk about creating custom stream element widget. So if you've been on the streams on Monday and Wednesday, the widgets, the little boxes with the notifications and stuff like that, are actually just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that I've coded up. All the information that's being displayed and stuff like that. So I want to just write a small article about the fact that you can do that. If you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you have enough knowledge to be dangerous with stream elements, making your own little custom integrated widgets and such. So yeah. Alrighty, it looks like we have our application up and running. What I am actually going to do is I'm going to try to move our terminal stuff into the main window so we just can get as much real estate as possible looking at stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be trying. So we're going to be doing this Pomodoro app to work for this stream. And then in the future, it's going to be open source. So then we can try to scale it out to work with other streamers. All right, so let's do mix steps get. While that's doing its thing, let's go ahead and convert these to-dos to issues. Is there a quick way to do this? It doesn't look like it. Okay, we just have to click on this. Convert to issue. Oh, well, we can't convert it to an issue because we don't have the repository yet for our Pomodoro app. All right, so mix steps get worked. Let's try to run mix setup next. You're also planning one with some friends? That's a fun project to do. That's how that great minds think alike. Let me go ahead and nudge this window up just a little bit, or try to at least. Just so we're above invisible any. I want to make sure. Yeah. There we go. Now we're a little bit more visible. All right, so we're doing the mix setup, so it's compiling. It should hopefully run the migrations just fine because since we're running this in dev container, actually, I don't think it's going to run the migrations just fine because I forgot to update the configurations for the database name. So I think when it runs the migration step, it's going to fail. What the name should have been when we create our environment, it should have been, because since we're doing this in development, it should have been Pomodoro app dev. But we'll let this finish compiling. We'll see if it actually fails, and then we'll make the changes, and then we'll relaunch the container. Database Pomodoro repo has been created. Interesting. So it looks like it didn't have an issue connecting to the database. I guess that's, if it works, it works. Let's see. Let's run mix phx server and see if our application, our hello world, will be up and running. This simple browser never works. I always try it and it never works. Oh, I have like some like Spotify running for whatever reason. There we go. Looks like we have the application up and running. Sweet. So we don't have to make any changes. Any additional changes. Sweet. Alrighty. So the first thing on our to-do was to create the app. The next thing to do is so scaffolding up. Originally, I was thinking about using SQLite because I wanted this application to run locally, but we'll just stick with Postgres. So now that we have our little application, let's go ahead and try publishing this project to GitHub. So we're going to call this Pomodoro app, the same name, Pomodoro app. And we're going to make this public. Great. Now we have it publicly. And now we can start associating our tickets with our Pomodoro app on our project board. Let's just do a little bit of custodial work here. Start doing this. Pomo. 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 And finally, Pomo. All right, so the next thing we're doing is Twitch integration. Let's see here. We do need to install, okay, so since we're in here and we have only one like thing installed, let's add in a couple more extensions to install locally that are probably not installed in here or activated. Yeah, for quality of life. So change case, I always love. Editor config. Elixir linter. I forget if Elixir LS does that. I don't think it does. It does? Great. Can never remember because they all change. Like you can see, like I have a bunch of different ones here, but if Elixir LS does the linting, dialyzer and LS. Okay. Spec. Okay. Thank you. GitHub Copilot is always fun to have on. Hex PM IntelliSense, always good. Path IntelliSense, because you never know. And Synthwave, because that's awesome. Twitch highlighter. And also we passed up the Phoenix. There's an official Phoenix plugin also. Is that already installed? Yeah, it's already installed. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So first thing on our list to get things going is let's connect. Let's actually get this to connect to Twitch chat. There is a newer library that someone's working on. I forget it's Ryan and I forget the name is the full name. Coincidentally, Shy Ryan's here, or a person by the name of Shy Ryan. But they've been working on this wonderful TMI integration library, chat library, and they've actually been doing a lot of work recently. Which, so I'm already using this. Ryan's are the best. Yeah. So they've been working on this library. They've recently done some major updates from 3.03, which I think I'm using, and they did some major changes version either on 4.0, starting with 4.0 to 5.0. Either that or it was 5.0. Either way, they're on 0.5 now, and they made some major changes. What's pretty cool was that I had a question for them because when I was using it, I wanted to join and leave channels dynamically. So today I opened up an issue asking the question about, because when I was trying to do it before, I was having trouble trying to dynamically join and leave channels. It was a pain in the butt. And I guess with his recent refactorings, you could do that, but he hadn't exposed that as part of the public interface for the TMI module. So he actually went in shortly after and did a commit to add that into the public interface, the join part. He already had the part for leaving, and he published a release of 5.1. And then he's like, hey, this is how you do it. So really cool, awesome maintainer. Just throwing that out there, throwing it out there. So lesson learned: if you have a library you like to use and you want to do something and you're just not sure how to do it, just open up an issue and ask, and see if they'll help you out. You know, if they don't say anything, I mean, you have nothing to lose, right? If they don't say anything, you're at the same point you were last time. But if they reply back, or if they add new functionality, then major win. You just got more functionality. So there you go. That's what we saw in an earlier stream about StreamCC. Mm-hmm. So yeah, really awesome. So we're gonna be integrating in with this. We're gonna add this library in. That's our first thing to do for our application. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. So TMI, and this is so that hex and version lens thing does this. So it's able to, if you put in TMI, it will look up the published releases for it. So it automatically knew that it was on 051. So that's what that one of those libraries I added in does. Cool. So we're done there. So that's installed. The next thing we need to do is add in so we need to create our bot. So I have a question because I've been trying to decide here. So the bot is its own kind of independent module. So would you go ahead? Would you just scope the bot under the Pomodoro app, or do its own independent module? So, and how would you try to structure it? Because I've done the style of like creating like a services folder, and then in here creating the bot, creating the module. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We don't have an air raid siren because we're on a different thing. But we can go. Attention, we've just been raided from Clarkio Party 36. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for that follow, Rugmat. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. One of my favorite streamers, Clarkio. Such a fun person to watch. How are y'all doing? How you doing, Clarkio? Hopefully you had a great stream. And hopefully you had I love what you do with the win of the weeks. I think I love that. I love that. And I love to hear everyone's wins. And I hope you, Clarkio, have had a good win of the week. And if anyone wants to share in the chat their win of the week, you're more than welcome to, because it's Friday. You deserve to brag. You deserve to show off like things you've accomplished. So yeah, my win of the week has been I hit a new all-time low on the scale following my diet. So I've hit 190 from back in the beginning of January when I weighed 205. So like I've been those incremental gains of eating healthier and being more active are starting to show, and it's adding up. So that's major win. Major win. Loving the background. I like this background too. Got a raid and run home. Nice. All right, Clarkio, have a good one. Have a great weekend. Have fun with the fam and all type of good stuff. All right, so let's see what Shy Ryan. Let me bring up featured chat real quick if I have this up and running. Let's see if this is going to work. Alrighty. So Ryan says, bot is like a different interface in your app, kind of like how web is. So I would do promo app bot directory, and just like you have a promo app web. I like that, but that's just me. Yeah, because I've done services put in there, but recently with another app, I just made like a folder called like bot basically, but I love namespacing it like the reasoning about namespacing it to be Pomodoro, just like with web, Pomodoro bot. I love that. I really like that. That is a nice touch. So we go, so instead of namespacing it off of just calling a bot, call it Pomodoro bot, because it is the Pomodoro's bot, just like the apps, or at least Pomodoro app bot. Too excited. I love that. I love it. Just like the same with the web, but bot. What's that? Some fancy chat highlighter. That is a featured.chat by streamer extraordinaire / Twitch builder lucky number 11. Featured.chat is the name of the product. It's a web overlay with a little website that you click buttons and it shows up stuff. S6M4C. Thank you very much for that follow. Trying to see if I can decipher that. 6 Mac is like what I gather. Oh dang, it's really done some work on that. Very cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool app. All right, so we have that Pomodoro. If I can spell, dang it. Nope. Not Apple. Apple. App boot. Okay, let's go take a look at that guide. So we're just gonna do a little copy pasta. And we're gonna call this the what should we call this? Should we just call this bot EX? I think that'll work for now. All right, so we'll just stick with the example code for handling commands and then handling just generic messages so we can make sure this works. So we have our module now, and now we need to implement our configuration also. So in our config folder, we will have this, and we are doing Pomo. Oh wait, we didn't namespace this all the way. We just called it bot, but it should be Pomodoro app bot Pomodoro app bot, and then Pomodoro app bot. Our user is going to be me, our chat bot. So with TMI, this is where the credentials go. So the user is going to be me, and then I'm going to provide an Oauth token here. The Oauth token though is going to be coming from the system. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like system dot no. Let's see if this will work. If I can, is it put it's get, is it get env? Get env. And then fetch env. Thank you. Can never remember. Fetch env. Great. There you go. Fetch env port. There we go. And then for now, we'll just tell it to join my channel. So then in our, so this is going to be for the system, but in development, we need to specify it directly. So I've been following the practice of creating a secret development file, like that doesn't include it as part of version control. So secret, so environment secret exs. So we are going to create a new dev secret exs. And then I'm just going to copy what's in dev for now, just to copy it. Okay, but really all we need is this top part right here to import the config. And then over here, my app should actually be Pomodoro app, I believe. So let's copy that over. And then in here, we're going to override the config and add in, and we're going to manually add in, we're going to hard code our secret, but we're going to make sure that we do not commit this file. So we're going to explicitly tell Git that we're do not commit that. So it's grayed out now. We won't accidentally commit it. So no. And since we're in development, well, actually, I might want to keep debug false because I'm not sure if we debug, it's going to show that the access token. So the next thing I need to do is I need to just insert in the access token, which I am going to have to do off screen. So let's go ahead and hide this screen. And I'm going to go and fetch that access token. Let's see. Copy, paste, close. Okay, so that file is closed. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. All right, so we've done that step, and then add to your supervision tree. So this is the part I always screw up on, but I think I can add it to here in the, it's either in the app, either in the mix ESX or in the application file. Right here in this start. Yeah, right here. Yeah. Thank you, Shot Ryan. So Pomodoro app. And let's double check how we have set this in the config. Yeah, bots, just making sure. So we're grabbing Pomodoro bots, that gives us the config. I'm gonna call this bot config, so it just makes bot. Oh, interesting. It just goes to bots and then goes to bots config right here. I'll just leave it alone then. And then we grab the children, and then this does, and then this starts a supervisor. My app supervisor. So this starts it in its own process. Pomodoro app supervisor. Okay. What's that? You already have children. Oh, I already have a children's supervisor. Oh, you're right. I was just looking at that. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I could just add. So I can add it to my children. So, like you were saying, do. So we grab this. I've never done it this way. So what I can do then is bot config. So what this is doing, this is trying to add, it's trying to go through an array of bot configurations and go through each one and output the children. So it's going through each one. So what would be the best way to do this? I guess this would technically be the bot, because this is bots is returning back an array. And it's just one bot in there. And then I can do like this. I think I can do this. Variable bot config. Yeah, I think you're right. It should be TMI supervisor, and we can double check this. Here, let's use web editor to browse GitHub more efficiently. Let's blow this up. Yeah, TMI supervisor. You are 100% correct. Okay. So, with all of that configured, I think we are good. So not mixed steps yet, but PHX server. Okay. So let's see. So testing. Yep. Message. Talk to me, Goose Hanford. Talk to me, message. And then the bot module. Actually, let's see. So if I do dice, it actually gives me dice. Hey, we've officially added TMI chat support, the chat bot in. Configure application, got the bot in. Very, very nice. Too easy. That's just the easy part, right? That's why it's too easy. I call that an opportunity to commit. So we're just adding a mix lock, making sure that dev config that secrets file isn't in here. And let's just do add in TMI and configure. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and sync those changes. Sweet. One other thing I want to add in is one of the Git packages. What does this one do? So this one adds view history, compare miscellaneous branch roots. I want to add in Git lens. Pull request. I forget if Git issues, and then this one. Uh-oh. Accidentally closed the project. What do we got here? What do we got here, i7? Domain registration coworker. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You're getting serious. Look at that. So i7 was also considering making a Pomodoro application for streamers, and he was talking about he was mentioning he was talking about it with other people. So he just registered a domain called co-work and then .rs. So coworkers. Nice. Very cool. He's committed to the cause now. By purchasing the domain, that means you have no other choice. Interesting. My closed captions just did something weird, so I want to check something here. Weird. Okay. Shrugs. Once you buy a domain, now you can forget about it and start a new project. Yeah. Ryan's are the best. So far, the track record as the track record holds true. Ryan's are the best. There is no evidence to be contrary to that assertion. Bot is down. Bot is down. Unfortunately. We had to disconnect and reconnect, so I'm wondering what's going on here. The Docker container. Hello. Configuration. Oh, my domain. It's sometimes so tempting to buy various different domains for especially for jokes among friends or on Twitch and stuff like that. It's so tempting. I just wish domains were cheaper. What is up with the project? Why isn't it working? Or why isn't it running? Here, I'm going to close Visual Studio Code and I am going to restart Docker because it's technically running inside a Docker container. So let's just restart Docker. All right. So while that's happening, let's talk about next steps here. So we have TMI integrated. The next thing to do so then here are my little mini user stories. So the first mini user story is, as a streamer, I like to set my Pomo time. So I would like to set how long a Pomo will be. We'll be making to make how long a Pomo will be to make starting a Pomo easier. So just setting a time. So that's our user story. So let's talk about this implementation. If so, I want a command like, set, or let's say it's a command called Pomo time, and then all I do is say 50 for an 50 being number of minutes. So do we want to store this setting in a database? Or do we want to just keep it in memory for now? Let's so dev discussion. Oh, this already adds a little, I forget that headers add that little dividey thingy. So yeah, so dev discussion. So Pomo time, is that a good command? And we say 50, so being the 50 number. So do we want to store this in the database? So we always remember what the set Pomo time is? Or, like I was saying, do we just want to store it in memory for a period of time? Do. All right, so let's try to reopen the dev container for this. There we go. Okay, so we got the dev container up and running again. Hallelujah. And let's see. If we want to store the Pomo time, should we keep a history of the different Pomo time set, or just keep the latest set? The easiest one is just to keep the latest, because we can store this on, let's say, like the user model, the user table. So let's let's start doing this. So based off of TMI, we can do these different, we can handle these different sorts of things. So we can say Pomo time. I think I said Pomo time. And say set Pomo time to Amazing Door. Amazing Door, what's my thoughts on Golang? I've never really built anything with Golang, so I honestly have no opinion of it. I know it's a fairly solid language for concurrency and fast execution, but like with most languages, every language is a viable depending on your solution, the solution you are seeking. So Golang for high concurrency, fast apps. If you need that, then I think it's based off what they say. It is right up the alley of things to be up the alley of. You know? PHX server. Ooh. We did a syntax error here. Do I do an extra? There we go. Pomo time doesn't exist. Sender command. That's right, because we're dealing with concatenation here. Pomo time. There we go. Variable senders aren't used. That's fine. Alrighty. So now if I go in here and I say Pomo time 50, you set the Pomo time to 50 minutes. That actually, I guess it matched because of the space. It just so happened to match because of the space. So Pomo time space that, but we just got lucky that it matched. We just got lucky. To grab the Pomo time. Okay. So like I was mentioning before, how we need to store this space would have been part of the 50. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah. So if we did it like this, it would have it still would have matched. It still matches Pomo time because that's in the string, but then the rest of the string that matched would have been space 50, like Shy Ryan says. But by saying Pomo time space, we're chopping off that part of the string with the space and keeping the number here. We can do some further validations on here, and let's see. So if we wanted to, we need to double check whether this is actually, if we can parse this into a number. So, or validate that this is a number, which I don't think I've had the opportunity to do yet. So there is an is number. We probably have to, let's see, so returns true if either the integer or floating point number, but we want to parse this into a number. So let's go to the string module. Integer parse, okay. And there's also 2 integer on the module too. With the base. And then if we look up integer, and then here we go, parse. So parse raises an error if base is less than, okay. And what was the other one gonna do? To integer. Returns an integer whose text representation is string based on, okay. Doesn't actually say whether it's gonna raise an error. So optional. So this will return back, this is perfect because it returns back an error like that. Great. Love it. That's gonna lead to better handling. So case integer parse our pomo time. And then if so if we match on an error, then we say chat valid pomo time provided. And then else that it's a success case. So if we say pomo time gobbledygook. Oh, does this not refresh? Is our little thing not going to refresh? Okay. Invalid pomo time provided. Does setting it with the IEX would automatically compile it? You can retype. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can just retype auto compile. Yeah, that's typically what I do, but I was kind of hoping that it would just auto recompile. Or at least I always typically run in IEX because I just love to debug through the terminal. But you make a good point of just being able to just say recompile instead of like stopping and starting it again. Okay, so we provided an invalid one. That's what happens. And so if we provide it for 40 now. Cool. So we've added a little bit of error handling in here. So if we get invalid pomo time, we say that, and then if we get one, we're good. Alrighty, so now we need to actually set the pomo time. I know, incremental progress. Nice. And it's great to have some pairing partners with me. Okay. what information? Let's see. So we got sender and chat, handle message. I want to look at the documentation about handle message real quick. Handle, whoops. Didn't actually mean to do that. Let's see. So handle message. You get the message, the sender, and then the chat. So I think the chat is, let's see, config options. I think the chat is the chat that it was sent from. So let me see something real quick here. If we type this in the debugger, message in from Okay, yeah. So we know the chat that it's sent from. One thing that isn't actually in these requirements here is that only want the streamer to set the Pomo time for now. That's one thing forgot to do, or as part of the requirement, is forgot to actually stipulate that. It's easy to check if it was the streamer that actually did this, because the sender and the chat will be one and the same. Although the sender and the chat, so the chat actually has the hashtag # in front of it, and then the actual sender doesn't. So that's one thing we'll have to keep note of. So how might we want to do this? In a case statement, can we do with conditional clauses within a case statement? You can do when. So okay, cool. So we can do, so Pomo time when is admin? No. When is broadcaster? I know we don't have, so chat and sender. So I recently learned about this, is you can define your own guard clauses. And I believe I learned about this from i7's work, but you can define your own guard clause with def guard, I believe. Generating a macro suitable to use in guard expression raises a compile time if the definition uses expressions that aren't allowed in guards. Note that the convention of Elixir's name. Okay, yeah. So is something. So we just can do this. Now I learned from you about defining guard clauses, I believe, looking at when you were sharing your source code. Is broadcaster. And this is the sender. Is that channel, and then this is the sender. Yeah, the text classifier, exactly. So when channel and sender are equal to each other, it is the broadcaster. Let's see if that's actually going to work, because this is my first time ever defining a guard clause. And this is Pomo. We're going to be recompiling Pomodoro app bot. Nope. What's this? Syntax. There's a syntax error. That's what's going on here. What did I do wrong? Do I have to define this in a guard module? Generates a macro is suitable for guard expressions where uses both compile definition aren't allowed. Note the convention of Elixir is to name a function's macros allowed in guards as is prefix such as is list. If however a function macro returns a boolean, it's not allowed in guard. Okay, let's read. So what is our error again? Our error is that invalid syntax in guard def guard is broadcast. Is it because we're doing this matching here? Can't do matchings in guard classes like that. That could be it. Let's see. So if we do this, so this check's always going to fail. So let's just do this. And cannot invoke is broadcast inside guard. Only macros invoked in a guard must be defined before their invocation. Okay, so move this up here. There we go. All right. No complaints thus far. Recompile. Okay, so the recompile worked. And let's just see if the guard clause works. This is broken right now, but it shouldn't respond back with anything at all because unrecognized command. Yep. Cool. So let's try to see about this. What can we do to get rid of Ooh, I love that solution. Shy Ryan. Yeah, why be concerned about doing it in the broadcaster when in the handle message we can just make sure to strip it? Or it's not here actually. So sender's fine. The chat. Whoops. I'm fat fingering everything right now. Let's do it that way. Right at the top. Because I don't need this. So I can just chop it off. Let's just make sure to recompile that. If you rename the chat sender to or vice versa and force them to match the function to be called. Also, if you rename chat to sender or vice versa, you force them to match for the function to be called. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, because the handle message is gonna encompass other. I guess we can overload the handle message to be specifically for that. Yeah, I did not think about that. I did not think about it that way. But invalid Pomo time. Yeah. So now if I try to invoke it, it works for me. Yeah, I did not think about it that way. We can have multiple handle messages. I did not think about it that way. And that I actually I like that better because now we're going to be separating message handling between admin, like broadcaster, and non-broadcaster. So if we match it between sender, so let's go ahead and drop this. And you can drop that. So if the sender matches to that, then I don't even need is broadcaster. At the hand match with the Pomo time. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing that, but we're gonna be adding in a couple more kind of like set the Pomo, stop, like reset it, couple things. So I think for now I'm just gonna have them grouped in the same handle message instead of having a handle message for every specific command. For now, I'm just gonna group them based off admin or chat owner versus not non-chat owner. But I totally get where you're coming from. So then we don't need this. And let's move this up. And then this is just sender. I probably could have just freaking did a matching and changed them all. Sender's unused. Yeah. I get it. All right. Recompile. Pomo time. 40. This is what we got here. Has CLI. So this has CLI option parser for searching Super Mario World hacks. Oh. Like hack, order rating first. Oh. Oh yeah, look at that. Did you build this, Ryan, or did someone else? Did you just happen to find this? So they come in here and then execute command. The Drew built it. Nice, and built it in Elixir too. It's actually super hard to I haven't encountered too many Elixir devs on Twitch. And it's not definitely a more niche section even for the development streaming community. Okay, cool. So like it searches for it and then it gives back a reply based off of what it finds. This is super cool. I'm gonna star this. That's right. I opened this up in a private window. Thanks for sharing. Okay. I would say General Elixir doesn't have the exposure it would have needed. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't have like Elixir is definitely one of those definitely from the ground up languages that some giant monolithic company didn't try to start developing in. Used to stream Elixir did, but haven't streamed in over a year. Oh, cool. Super respect. I just followed you. Give me a second here. I'm getting a call for a second. It's probably going to be about my car insurance, but we'll just see. Or my car warranty. Okay, wasn't about car warranty this time. It was like home internet thing, and then the call dropped. So whatever. Maybe summer. Yeah, I mean, the first step to streaming is just to stream once, maybe for an hour. It doesn't like that's if you want to. There's never any pressure to it. But I'm gonna be heading to bed. Wish y'all have a good night, i7. Sleep well. Make sure to get some plenty of rest. Last night I actually went to sleep early, pretty early because I was just feeling tired. But yeah, get plenty of rest. Don't overwork yourself. It is the weekend now. Okay. So back to the discussion. How are we going to store this state for the Pomo time for the user? Because we don't have, like, should we just store it in memory? And then if we're storing it in memory, how are we going to store that? Are we going to store that in, what do you call it? A gen server? Or are we just going to, are we just going to throw this in a database? And just have just a super generic database? No like logging in yet, none of that stuff. It's just gonna just store information. Let's see here. We could use the gen auth to try generating scaffolding user information, because that exists now. Like user login onto stuff, so we can start setting all that up just from the scaffolding generator. So we can do this. So if we were to do that, let's give it a try. So we just generated it, mix, deps, get, and then, okay, that's good. So now we have a user, a token, all that type of stuff. But, oh yeah, and we also have a migration here for a user. So I was just thinking about, let's just go simple. And I had the talking about whether to keep a history of the Pomo times or just keep the most recent one. Part of me is just thinking, let's just go simple, and we can just store the Pomo time on the user column. So we can add onto here Pomo time and have that as an integer, and we can say null. We can definitely have it as null, and default. What's a good default Pomo time? 15 minutes? Just 20? Do it. Cool. So now when we scaffold up this user, we'll already have a Pomo time set for them. Let's make sure to update a couple other configurations because the schema is not going to reflect that. So let's make sure to add in Pomo time as part of the schema integer. We don't care about redacting that. Let's move this up above. So it's the non-redacted fields are right there. We could sort this alphabetically too. For easier reading. Validate. So we will, so for user registration, we don't care about that. Validate email. We're not going to be implementing email validation, stuff like that. But we'll just keep all this stuff in here anyway. Change sets, validate, password change set, email change set, maybe hash password. Where's the like user update change? Do we not have like a user update change set in here? I guess we don't. Okay. We'll just leave that alone. We'll have to implement that later. All right. Let's see if just doing that alone's okay. So the next thing we need to do is this mix ecto migrate. Did I get that right? I don't know if I got that right yet. It's compiling. Okay. Because by day, I'm a Ruby on Rails developer. So professionally, I'm a Ruby on Rails developer. Been that way for about 11 years now. So I'm always thinking about the Ruby on Rails command, not the Elixir commands, because Elixir is just my hobbyist language now. 5+ years for Elixir for you. Nice. I've only been doing Elixir for less than a year, and it's only been on my own personal projects. So since I'm not doing it 24/7, or at least not all day for work, I'm always thinking about Rails instead. That's really cool. So I assume that you've been really enjoying doing Elixir since you've been doing it for 5+ years now. It's so hard for production Elixir experience. I'd imagine so. Yeah, I mean my single app that I have for Elixir is deployed in production being used, but I don't have like enterprise extremely high scale applications. But the closed caption that you see over my face, that application is built in Elixir using WebSockets, GraphQL. I guess it's using WebSockets, GraphQL subscriptions, API, couple APIs, and all that type of stuff. So it's been phenomenal because I built it in Rails first, and I started reaching scaling. I started reaching scaling limits in terms of my pocketbook versus what Rails can do. So, and then I rewrote the entire thing in Elixir, and been phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay, so our migration worked. Super cool. All right, so hey, new followers, Suram. Probably got that wrong. Thank you much for that follow. People always like Rails can scale, and I'm like year, but you're yeah, yes, Rails can scale, but it scales proportional to your wallet. Depending on, I guess, depending on the feature sets you're doing, or if you're doing aggressive caching and stuff like that. Because since I was doing WebSockets in Rails, the built-in WebSocket implementation in Rails is super leaky. I guess Active Record and the built-in WebSocket implementation are super leaky memory-wise. So especially that WebSocket thing. So I would have to restart the application every once in a while because you'd see memory going, or it would go up and then it would crash, and then and then I would get a restart for free. But with Elixir, it just sits there. And yes, WebSockets use up memory because you have to keep track of the bookmarks, but there's a direct 1-to-1 ratio of like how much memory I need depending on how many users are currently connected. So there is a proportional thing to that I have been enjoying. Okay. So we got that done. We got the migration going. So, I have an Elixir side project. So I have a project in Elixir with lots of use that I haven't touched in so long that I couldn't remember how. I should look at the DB the other day. It's just been running nonstop for years. That's really cool. Yeah, mine has just been running nonstop. The only thing I need to do is like, I need to scale it basically. And I'm using Elixir, so Elixir doesn't auto scale. So recently I had to bump up the memory usage because there was at one point there was a large event that was doing about 80,000 WebSocket connections to the server, an additional 80,000 connections to the server. So that ended up causing out of memory errors on because I just didn't have the memory footprint to support it. So I had to scale up a little bit for that. One of them consisting to 200, 300 requests per second. Yeah, mine is pretty crazy. So if we just do a little sidebar here, I do have some New Relic. Let's see if the New Relic stats are going to load, because they weren't loading earlier. So these are the New Relic. This is my New Relic dashboard that I'm tracking. So this is over us. So this is a 24-hour period. So that's how many unique users that, and by users, these are the broadcasters that are using the extension, like logging in and on the dashboard. This doesn't include the number of WebSocket connections. The WebSocket connections are bundled with the process count here. So there's about, I guess, like I forget how many processes by default there is, but there's a moderate amount of WebSocket connections or just processes altogether, but really fast. The captions break down. So this is like going through the server, doing the queries to fetch all the stuff, and finally delivering it to the user. It takes about 20 milliseconds. Oh, there it goes. It broke. Dashboard broke. I've been having issues with NuRec recently on the free tier. I'm gonna have to call it customer support. Into my stuff. So I've been trying to deploy everything. Does Fly.io, I was looking at Fly.io. Do they support auto scaling? Because that's the one thing that, but GigaLiquor's been awesome, and I reached out to the owner, and he was kind enough to give me a discount for hosting since this application's open source and it's free for people. So they were kind enough to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sticking with Elixir. Is it because they've been kind enough to give me a discount? Fly has a better free tier. The only thing I worry about is network throughput, because this app does a lot of data transfer, a lot of requests coming in and coming out, lots. So you can see right here, just from this GraphQL endpoint, there's about like 500 requests, you know, let's say an average of 500 requests per minute. And then the captions are seeing like, you know, any range from at least within the past 6 hours, between 4,000 and 7,000 captions sent. You know, every minute or so, every couple minutes. So there's a lot of captions being sent. Lots of captions being sent. So lots of traffic. And then you can see, and then this right here is like the number of users in a given time period. But we digress. Great to have a project to look when you're looking for a job. That's true. That is true. 100% not the reason why I did the project, but it's definitely good to show up. Definitely not the intention, though. Alrighty, so we created an account. Let's see here. I guess what we can do is we can implement do we want a person, so that we're trying to go with MVP here. So the MVP would be to just create an account. I guess we do have Auth already. We can integrate Auth and just get user registration set up really easily with that. And then we can save the user stuff that way. As we do have the Pomo time. And we do want to generalize this for users in the future. Let's see, we got about 15 minutes. We could try to quickly implement user login and authentication via Oauth. Do we want to keep this platform specific to... I'm gonna say that this is only gonna work on Twitch for now. Or you're only gonna have one account, or you're gonna have an account per provider. And we'll just keep it simple. All false. And we'll need to access. Let's add a field for an access token. And a refresh token in case we wanted to set those. So provider, access token, refresh token, UID. Username. Okay. Let's run mix setup again, and I'll just refresh. I'll reset the database and rerun the migrations, I believe. Or is it, oh no, it's not mix setup, it's mix reset. Where are the commands here? Ecto reset. That's what we want to do. So we just want to reset. Oh, we left. We got some typos here. This. Get rid of these commas. They're not needed. And reset. Great. Okay. And the reason why I am probably biased to doing Auauth Twitch is because I am the most recent I maintain the most up-to-date version of the Auauth Twitch package. These are giving me the wrong ones. That's weird. That says February 20. Okay, that says February 20. Okay, never mind. I'm about to say, I like my mind merged these two right here for whatever reason. Okay, let's speed run this. See how far we can go with this setup. Mix steps, get config. What the heck? Not mean to do that. Config. Boom. Boom. Where is this extra? Where's that extra thing coming from? That's a typo in the docs. I'm not sure where that extra thing came from. I'll have to update that. So we set the OAuth authentication, and then in our browser, in our router, we are going to be adding to the pipeline here Auauth plug, and then we're going to add a new scope in here for auth, Pomodoro app web, adding the browser pipe, and provider callback. Let's go ahead and just add the post just in case. And then we have to define our auth controller. So we're doing that next. So in controllers, auth controller.ex, paste in that example, but we're doing Pomodoro web app web, boom. And this is Pomodoro app web. Separate that. We don't have this method yet. So we're just going to take this code here, pop that into there, comment out this, and do that, that, and format to get that going. What else we need to do? So now we need to do the authentication, actually do the permissions and stuff like that in our dev secrets. So because we define this, but this is getting it off of the environment variables. This is set as get env because it's gonna fail. But I need to hide my screen so I can get to that point in. I guess what I can do real quick is not hide my screen for this part, but we're creating a brand new app. So we're going to have to go and register a brand new app on Twitch Dev. So we go to console and we're going to register a new application. Pomodoro Twitch. Pomodoro app. We're just going to call it that. The redirect URL is going to be http://localhost 4000 /auth /Twitch is our redirect. Add category is website integration, application integration, website integration. I'm officially not a robot because I can answer this question. Bicycles. Cool. I'm going to hide my screen and click create just to make sure nothing gets exposed. Great. I have the client ID, which I'm going to officially copy over. Give me a second here. I'm gonna delete these things here. Okay, so copy that client ID here. I'm gonna generate a secret. That is my secret. And then, okay. Oh, actually, I gotta have my screen because I'm not done yet. Okay. So we've officially followed the guide on here and done everything we needed to do. So everything should just work. Right? Right? Because once you do it once, it always just works right away. I look italicize should. Oh god. Pomodoro auth. It's a auth controller is undefined. Really? Auth controller for Pomodoro app web. Auth controller right there. Works right away and continues to work without fail. So we're compiling. I'm just hoping that this router is just Pomodoro app web. Do I have the Pomodoro app web? Everything's spelled correctly. I'm just like super paranoid now. Oh, this is gonna fail right there. That shouldn't be there. Okay. The app has been generated. Now we visit the site for our little application. Oh. Get providers. Oh, because of our config. This, I believe, needs to be an array. I think. Because that's where the typo in the docs is. Providers. Yep. This is where the typo in the docs is. It's providers. That. So I'll have to do a docs update for that because I accidentally introduced a bug. Second doc typo today on mine and on someone else's. So at least that affirms that for me that it's not just me. Okay. Great. App works. So if we go to app, if we do auth Twitch, we'll present to the auth. Yep, here we go. And we come back, redirect. Waiting. Uh-oh. We're in an infinite redirect loop. Oh no. Redirect to that. How the heck did we get into infinite redirect loop? Let's try this again. Auth Twitch. Oh, I know why. Duh, because I misconfigured it on the callbacks. I'm just realizing that now. In the app for Twitch Dev, I said that the callback was auth Twitch, but it should be auth Twitch /callback. /callback. That's why. So Twitch is sending me back to the authentication and just repeatedly doing that. So that should be updated. in a second, I would hope. Call back. It's not updating. We'll give it a second. We'll give it a hot second. I need to go into the config file and the secret config file and update that to say / callback. There we go. Auth Twitch callback. Maybe I had to confirm I'm not a robot. Hey, I'm not a robot. Give me a second here. Crosswalks. That's a crosswalk. That's a crosswalk. That's a crosswalk. That one's a crosswalk. I see no more crosswalks. Yes, I'm not a robot. Score. Score 1 for the home team. Okay. All right. We press the button. How do you really know? How do you really know you're not a robot programmed to believe you're a human? Oh my goodness. Hmm. I mean that's true. What if I was switched out at some point? I could be it too. Like I could have been a human, but then swapped out to be and swapped out for a robot as a robot that has the same identity as me. All right. Auth Twitch. Boom. And we redirected and successfully authenticated. Burr, 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 burr. Noise. The next thing we need to do is we need to implement the authentication flow. We should probably go ahead and add that as like an item that we just need to call out. So add in Twitch login for a bot user for user of bot. You might have to yank out your whole manual OAuth stuff and use Auth Twitch. Ooh, that'd be cool. Given that I'm the I'm the maintainer of the most recent the most up to date one. Yeah, the whole Auth Flow plugin stuff makes it really easy to integrate any sort of OAuth provider. So if you wanted to extend your app to support other OAuth logins, it just makes it really easy because you add in the new strategy and just update the code. Oh, it's learning. It chose Pomodoro first. So the thing I would need to do next is implement a user, basically a user login flow for this. Given the auth information, I also could delete 500 plus lines of code. Now that's awesome. Now that's a big win. That's a big motivator. Okay. So I think this is a good stopping point on the project. For the next point on this would be to create the user login flow for this. I've done this a couple times on my other projects, so I might just end up copying and pasting a bunch of code. I really want to get this Pomodoro app up and running because I want to actively use it for future co-working streams. So outside of the typical Friday stream, I've mentioned this before, is I want to do at least one other stream throughout the week that is just a generic co-working stream where you know, we're just listening, music playing in the background, and you know, you're just doing your work, and I'm just doing my work. I'm not showing what I'm doing because it's, you know, NDA and all that type of stuff, client work, but it's just doing Pomodoro co-working, so you can just listen to music, vibe with other people, and get your stuff done during the day. So that's the idea. Just to it's like kind of like a community thing. So I really want to get this app, this little bot up and running. So I'll most likely be working on this off stream just to kick this off. But it was really fun to do the initial setup for this. This is on GitHub, open source now, because we had pushed this up onto the web. Boop, boop, boop. So the link to the app is here if you want to take a look. But yeah, I'll probably be working on this a little bit more off stream. Yeah, I think we'll call it for today. And I hope to catch you next time. And the next time I see you, I'll share with you the progress that we made on the app. And hopefully we'll get to use this really, really soon. Let me go ahead and commit this edition though. So add in user auth and Uber auth Twitch. So the next stream will be on most likely Sunday for my side project stream where we're working on the OCR, reading text, reading code, images of code, and converting into text and doing some fancy stuff like that. So I'll be the next time. But I like to thank Zeal, my company I work for giving me the opportunity to do this fun sort of side project stuff on stream during during work hours. And I'd like to also say that Zeal is hiring. So if you are a full stack web developer, and we do specialize in Ruby on Rails and React, but if you're a full stack web developer and just have experience, unfortunately, no projects doing Elixir just yet. It's all just Ruby on Rails. But if you are interested in learning Ruby on Rails, and I wish, I know, huh? If you're familiar, if you're interested in doing Ruby on Rails and you have experience building apps, then feel free to take a look at the job posting. But other than that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and you have a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you all again. Thank you very much for the follows. Thank you very much, Clarkio, for the raid. And just get out there and, you know, seize the day. Go do something. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm like relaxing. I'm looking forward to go to a coffee shop and do some side project work. I'm always coding. My hobby is coding. I love creating stuff. My hobby is coding. My day job is coding. I just like building stuff. So that's probably what I'm gonna be doing this weekend too. So I'll catch you next time, folks. So y'all, yeah, same here. Nice. All right. So remember, stay happy, stay healthy, go eat something yummy, and I'll catch you next time. All right. Peace.